New York City is on the brink of a drastic shift. Incoming Mayor Zohran Mamdani has announced he will end the sweeping of homeless encampments, the signature cleanup effort of the previous administration. For many residents, this change doesn't promise relief. It rings alarm bells. Under the previous regime, thousands of makeshift shelters, tents, and informal encampments were cleared from sidewalks, parks, and streets. Officials argued it was about public safety, sanitation, and restoring order to neighborhoods long choked by tent cities. But Mamdani says that policy failed. In his words, if sweeps don't lead to real housing solutions, then the cleanup is not a solution at all. He pledges instead to focus on housing-first policies, supportive units, and long-term shelter for the unhoused. But so far, he's offered few concrete guarantees. Critics are not convinced. They warn this move risks opening the floodgates, tents returning en masse, sidewalks and parks overrun, public spaces descending into chaos. They call the decision impractical, especially given challenges like drug addiction, mental illness, and a housing shortage that the new administration has not resolved. Law enforcement voices and former officials beg to differ. They argue that without sweeps, the city will lose control. One former top official warned, ending street intervention programs before building sufficient housing. Shelter and treatment capacity, it's a gamble. No plan, no timeline, just hope. And worry isn't limited to the streets. Local businesses, commuters, families, all could suffer. Imagine living in a city where once clean sidewalks become tent zones overnight, where parks meant for children become refuge camps, where sanitation breaks down and complaints rise. Opponents stress this isn't just about politics, it's about quality of life, safety, and community. More than 45,000 complaints about encampments were filed in 2025 alone. People are already overwhelmed by overcrowded sidewalks, blocked access, and worsening sanitation. What happens when sweeps end? Supporters of the change argue sweeping tents away only pushes people around. They say those with nowhere to go end up worse off, losing essential belongings, medications, even contact with social services. For many, the tent was the only shelter. But is the alternative any better? A policy based on good intentions, vague promises, and no clear roadmap. The city hopes a housing-first strategy will deliver. But critics warn that without rapid construction, more resources, and serious planning, the streets will pay the price. In the coming months, every New Yorker, homeowner or renter, commuter or shopkeeper may feel the ripple effects. The city's character, its safety, its neighborhoods, all could change. This is not just a policy debate. It's a gamble with people's everyday lives. When tents replace sidewalks, when encampments grow where playgrounds once stood, the cost won't be counted only in dollars. It will be counted in trust lost, in neighborhoods degraded, in the slow erosion of what made this city livable. Mamdani's decision may come from a place of compassion, but compassion without preparation, without infrastructure, without planning. Can it protect a city of millions? Or will it sink it? For advocates of order and safety, this isn't about being heartless, it's about preserving a livable city. Because when camps return, disorder returns. Complaints skyrocket. Public health suffers. And everyone, homeless or housed, pays the price. In New York, and in any city watching this unfold, what seems like kindness today could become chaos tomorrow, because the street is not a home. And a city cannot sustain tens of thousands of makeshift homes. If you care about your sidewalks, your parks, your safety, and the future of your city, then this decision deserves scrutiny. A population deserves safe public spaces, dignity, and real help. But the rest of the city deserves livability too. Ending sweeps without a robust housing plan, without clear resources, without realistic timelines is not a solution. It's an experiment. And when experiments fail, it's the everyday people who suffer. So as the city braces for this shift, ask yourself, do you trust that the empty promises will become real homes? Or do you brace for tent cities, signage warnings, crowded sidewalks, and a city that slowly becomes unrecognizable? Because some choices are not just political, they define the soul of a city. And when public order, safety, and basic livability hang in the balance, every one of us will feel the consequences. This isn't just about homeless people. It's about every citizen who walks the streets, sends their kids to parks, supports local shops, rides subways, lives in apartments. A city is more than its government. It's its people. And when those people are forced to bear the weight of political experiments, maybe it's time to ask whether good intentions alone are worth it.